Last up for this portion is a candidate who is running unopposed in Area D, Donna Sugar.
Thank you very much, Michael, and thank you everyone for coming and for your interest in these very important issues. And thank you to the SCCA for keeping the environment in front of the public and particularly in front of the elected officials. It's extremely important work that you do. Yes, I have been acclaimed, so I'm around for another 3 years. The other day I was having some trouble with the answers to the questions because I was going on too long, and I consulted my friend Lauren Lewis over here, and he said, "Why don't you write a haiku?" And so I thought about that for a while, and I haven't written a haiku, but I have written a little poem which I think exemplifies my perspective on the environment rather well. So I hope you enjoy it. There was a director from D who favored the hugging of trees. The tide was a-turning, so she canceled the burning for the health of the birds and the bees. Now, I don't mean to be facetious, and I don't want to make light of the situation, because I do think it is dire. And I am very worried that the economic crisis that is taking everybody's attention is going to distract us from the things that we need to do to curtail the damage before it's too late. And I'm afraid that we're going to make some hasty decisions designed to address our economic woes in ways that will ultimately be our undoing. And what we really should be looking at is what some people are now calling the Green New Deal, where we have publicly funded green infrastructure that puts people to work and resolves some of our climate change issues at the same time. It's been said that these answers are on the website, and my answers are rather lengthy, so I'm not going to go into them tonight. You can read them on the website, but I'd like to speak in more general terms. That everything is interconnected has been understood by the spiritual community forever, and more recently by the scientific community. But that understanding of interconnection has been slower to make its way into the political community. And I believe it is central to the solutions that we must find. To try and separate our economic strategies from our environmental plans and from our solutions to social issues will not get us very far. In addition, people are afraid or don't like the word sustainability, which is one of the most used words in our lexicon, but I think it's an extremely important concept. The idea that actions today must respect the future, that we not compromise future generations' ability to meet their needs while we're struggling to meet our own. So I think these two principles should be our decision-making guides: an understanding of the interconnectedness of all things and the principle of respect for the future. And it doesn't matter whether we're talking about water or forests or education or housing or jobs. One of the most effective tools in translating these principles into action on the ground is collaboration. With other local governments on the coast, for example, is regional growth strategy. With First Nations in planning land use outside our settled areas and for protection of our major drinking watersheds. And with the public in developing an acceptance of programs to address issues like climate change. We will be more effective working together than each of us trying to do our own parochial little thing. And we need to recognize the collective wisdom out there that we can tap into if we are really listening. But elections are not high school popularity contests. There are tough questions and tough decisions that we need to ask and need to make. And I'm afraid I've stuck my neck out a number of times within my community. I referred to the burning issue in Roberts Creek. I've brought forward a modified burning ban, and it's now been adopted and accepted, I think, by the public. And we're still working on our Green Shores bylaw, which will deal with the sustainable use of the foreshore. So tough questions, let's not be afraid to ask them. I think we're in a serious situation. We all need to take responsibility. We need to change our lifestyles and not be having whatever we want, whenever we want, and the global situation be damned. And I'm asking you all to vote wisely on November 15th for people you think will act not only in the short-term interest, but in the interest of future generations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Donna.